to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yep. Here all by myself. I joined a table of 4 people when the show first started.
What up, D?
And now I'm we even got the video song voice playing. Thank you. And now I'm all by myself. My people have left me. Kanika has left me. I am all alone. What's up, everybody? As you can see, I'm here, just me. Everyone else isn't here today. I don't know why. I'm sure they all have good excuses, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They left me. My name is Micheal Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL. Thank you for tuning in to Quantico, episode 9, Guilty. And I have to say that was my favorite show. The irony that my favorite episode of this dang season, because I'm the critical one on this panel, as you I'm sure you all see. I'm the super critical one, and you guys all let me know because not a lot of you are happy with me. And the episode I finally like, no one's here to talk to me about it. I'm still gonna be critical about it, but no one's here to give me some juice about it. All right, so what I really liked about this episode today was the fact that I felt the tension. I thought that there was a lot going on. There was a lot of back and forth. They were really like, there's a moment where Caleb and the returning Elias, who I called, by the way. That was one of my predictions, that he was coming back. That Elias was the returning Elias, that when they were trying to figure out what to do and how to get Alex out of trouble, that whole back and forth, I was really, really digging it. And it was the first time I've really seen that. It was the first time I felt the thrill of guys trying to take down terrorist actions, and it really, really worked for me. The first thing I want to talk about is, I think, another quick prediction of mine. I'm pretty much going to go back and forth between Quantico and the NYC timeline, right? So NYC would be present with Alex being wrongly imprisoned, and Quantico clearly being the past while they're at Quantico. When we start off in the Quantico timeline, we see Miranda is hospitalized, clearly because she got found stabbed, and we're all thinking that is her son, but it turns out, what everyone leads on to believe is that no one sees it. No one sees who stabs her. And her clearly having trust issues with her child, she clearly thinks it's her son. But no one really knows yet. And Miranda says that she was attacked from behind. And when they try to tell her, it might not have been your son, she's clearly like, no, it's him. Clearly. Of course, down the line, we'll find out that it wasn't him. But that's crazy. He really doesn't trust him, and it's leading me to believe the group that he was talking to, something's going on. They've played a piece in this. Something's gonna happen with them. I don't know what. Clearly, because we're dragging this out. This dang show's dragging it out. I don't feel like I'm any closer to figuring it out, but I'm starting. My predictions shift every week, but I'm starting to believe that group that Miranda's son is with clearly is playing a major part in this. Is playing a very major part in this. And that could be why when in the NYC timeline, when Miranda was so pro Alex, maybe something happens where she finds out her son isn't guilty and it leads to her to help her. But anyway, that's a lot of thinking that might not happen. All right, so then you end up seeing Simon, who pretty much throughout this entire episode has been speaking to this mystery man that we saw last week, who can get his hand on all types of bombs. I mean, not bombs, but like information technology. And he's always talking to him on the phone. So, and that's something that we always see in the beginning of this episode, as well as Ryan tells Alex that O'Connor is missing. This part of the storyline kind of threw me off. This is the only thing I didn't like with this episode. I'm sorry. All right. Clear. If you guys don't agree with what I'm saying, which I'm sure 90% of you don't, hashtag ABTV Quantico. Hit me up on Twitter. I did not like what was going on with Liam. It was just very. I know he got depressed, but with everything that happened, he just suddenly goes on a drinking binge. And Alex has to go to his house and find him. She finds him unconscious. She throws him into a shower. She puts cold water on him, and she says, "I did this way too much for my dad. I'm only gonna do it for you once." Which I liked, which I thought was showing her, her callousness and her cold, calculated side. But I'm not gonna say it was forced, but it was just I didn't really care for that. I didn't see where that was coming from. But I'm guessing they're pretty much trying to establish what Alex's relationship with Liam is, because in the NYC timeline, they're pretty much talking about how close they are together, how that Liam should trust her, because Miranda did mention that he loves her. I'm guessing he loves her like a daughter. I don't think any romance goes on between them. But then again, Shelby bangs Caleb's father, so it's not too hard to believe that some weird duking is happening. Okay, so Ryan tells Alex O'Connor's missing. Alex goes, cleans him up, tries to fix him, and sends him. That's a kind of a recurring theme throughout this episode. And then the Quantico with the. I'm sorry about that. Ryan asks Alex, next time Ryan sees Alex, he asks Alex, "Where have you been?" Clearly, Ryan followed her to Liam's place and wanted to know where she'd been, and she lies directly to his face. This was something I liked, because they didn't make I guess Alex the super goody. I like that Alex has some flaws, and that she's not afraid to lie, because she made such a big deal about Ryan lying to her, that here she is lying to Ryan's face, and it bothers him, and he can't take the fact that she's lying to him. Specifically for Liam, because Ryan clearly has a hard on for Liam. Like, he's really mad at this cat. He's really not happy with the way he was played by him. So, and I like how Ryan, at first, he kind of plays the game. He lets her lie to him. He doesn't say anything. He lets her lie. My notes are flying everywhere. Going to put a cup right there. Hold it down. Because clearly I didn't memorize a damn thing. I don't expect to memorize notes. So anyway, so then we end up going to the Quantico. Every episode there's like a term of the week where everyone tries to fix has a group project that the class has to do, and they end up having Susan Langdon, a special guest teacher who caught mass murders in the past, and then all that schnazzy stuff. She gives each of them a thing to do. I'm sorry. She gives each of them a project to do where they have to pretty much figure out which victim doesn't belong to a certain serial killer. They all go through it. They all figure it out. But Simon is just like a stickler for information, and he just finds something wrong with one of the with his group's project. Everyone in the group, they're pretty much focusing on one point of the project, but he's just saying something's wrong with this victim. I think it's this victim. He says something's wrong. Of course, everyone gets it right. Simon sucks it up and he grows with the team, but then he follows Langdon afterwards, and he just keeps going at her. He keeps telling her like something's up. And at first, I just thought it was a clear indication that he's a stickler. He's always trying to get information. And when you look to what happens on the NYC side, how they're pretty much saying that the person who set Alex up is someone who's a stickler, who's maniacal with minute things, like minute information. And here on the Quantico timeline, they're showing that Simon is very much like that. I can see how they're pretty much trying to correlate that. But clearly Simon did it to the wrong person. Simon's pretty much chasing her, sweating her, and then she invites everyone out to go have drinks at the I guess the local pub, and they have the most awkward, the most uncomfortable drinking game ever. They're naming serial killers and how many people they've killed, and if you got it wrong, you got to take a shot, because I guess that's what they do in Quantico. They name serial killers and they take shots, and I found that I was like, geez. There's no way every member of this task force is going to need therapy by the time they're 45. There's no way. How could you not? How could you not? And it was crazy how Langdon pretty much knew it all by heart. She knew all of them. So Langdon's going through some things. And so then you have my man Simon. He pulls her aside, and he's staying at it. Keeps talking about the damn project. And then Langdon, I just think she's playing along. She pulls him. She's like, hey, buy me a hamburger. And she's talking to him. And she's pretty much she's like giving him chances, trying to talk him out of it. And this guy, he pretty much figures it out right there that she tempered with evidence. That another victim of a completely different, like a passion crime, of a completely different killer, she tampered with the evidence to make it look like it was the killer she was chasing so that she can finally capture him. So that pretty much means that the killer, she captured her killer, but the real killer of that particular crime scene that she tampered with is still out free. He pretty much calls her out on it. And she's just like, huh, well, you got me. And I think she threatened him. Clearly she has a needle later. So she threatens him, which is crazy because he like outsizes her. He knows how to fight. And I'm not saying women aren't strong, but come on. So, and he outsizes her. And she tells him that like we are in a blind spot of all the cameras, which is pretty much the recurring theme throughout this whole episode. Quick side note, the name of this episode was Guilty. It should have just been called Blind Spot. They reference Blind Spot literally every 5 to 10 minutes in this episode. You would think it should have been called Blind Spot. I don't know if I would have been able to have a good theme song for Blind Spot though, but that should have been the reference. So they're in the blind spot, and she pretty much tells him, I guess she the term she used to threaten him, she pretty much says she's gonna stab him with that needle, and I guess give him like a hemorrhage or something, kill him. And I still don't think it's that big of a deal till the next scene where she's marching him out of the bar like a damn prisoner to the car. Ryan sees this, and it looks awkward to him, which I found crazy. I mean, if you see your boy leaving with a woman, why does it look awkward? And I think he said that he didn't open the door for her. And I guess that's something that he never does. But it's the FBI teacher. I found it interesting that he would think something's wrong with the FBI special teacher who showed up to help you guys. But he figured something was up, and she has a needle pressed to the back of his head to kill the guy. Or I guess to threaten him. I don't know what her plan was. That's what I left this episode thinking. What was her plan? What was she gonna do with him? Honestly, like were you gonna like kidnap this guy and what? Just take him home and so does this mean she's like a murderer? Because I think that would have been an even the bigger problem here, because of course he ends up getting saved, and she kisses him on the lips and she leaves, which I thought was kind of. It bothered me because it was just very nonchalant. Like, all right, well, I'm not going to kidnap you. You made it away. Bye. Mwah. Then she leaves. And considering how she's part of the FBI, that she was just so willing to get rid of this guy. That's kind of scary. And I think that's pretty much what sets him off later, because after this whole incident, he calls his secret man there, and he just rants and raves to him, and ends up getting a disk drive with all of the blueprints to like every train in New York City. Again, going back and forth between the New York City timeline. So this whole episode is pretty much establishing Simon could possibly be a huge part to this. He could really be involved with framing Alex, and that's why I really like this episode. They did a good job, because I've been off the Simon train. I've been like, he's a good guy, I like him. This episode did a really good job of framing him in that way, where now you don't know, and I don't know, and I like Simon, So, but I like how he pretty much he gets away, and then he ends up ratting out Langdon. He ends up ratting her out, and she ends up getting arrested. And everyone in Quantico, well, not everyone, but I didn't see Alex or Ryan there, but everyone pretty much turns on him. They turn on Simon, and Simon, he feels that he did the right thing. You know, it's like what she did was wrong, but now you're gonna get a person who's murdered women off the hook. So they've turned on him, and clearly, I guess it results in him getting the blueprint. So he's really a prime suspect now. That primary part of the story is what I really like that a lot. I really like that part a lot. Then we go to Alex, her little back and forth in the Quantico timeline, saving Liam, saving him, trying to, I guess, sober him up. And then at the very end, after she has a heart-to-heart with him about, you know, his daughter and what he means, and, you know, all that blah blah. And they end up going to Miranda, and the truth comes out that, like, hey, maybe her son got kidnapped. It's looking like Miranda's son got kidnapped, and the people who kidnapped him took her out. And Alex is now seems to have established a father-daughter relationship with Liam. And after doing so, goes to see Ryan, and Ryan's done. Because he felt she lied to him too much, and he doesn't understand the point. He likes her. She calls him a friend, and he wants boo status. He wants that relationship status. He wants them to be one-on-one, holding one another. I mean, I guess he's very emotional. I mean, Alex isn't about that. Alex is about business. She's trying to find out what's up with her parents, what's up with her dad. On the other timeline, she's trying to save the city. He's trying to be in love. There ain't no time to be in love. She don't got time to be in love. How can you? She's got priorities. He doesn't get it. I mean, I feel him. But anyway, so he pretty much leaves Quantico. And I also like the quick side note of how Caleb and while they're jogging in the very beginning, how Caleb and I know I'm jumping around like crazy, guys. Bear with me. Just bear with me. I mean, I'm a viewer of the show just like you. And I guess it's because I'm just excited because it was a good show. It's really my favorite episode of the season. So back to Caleb. Caleb and Shelby, they just start making it on the floor where everyone was jogging. I mean, everyone's just so open with their relationships this episode. When they go to the bar, everyone's just making out. Caleb and Shelby are kissing. Ryan and Alex are face to face. They were really getting it in. So that's pretty much the Quantico timeline. Then let me get quickly to the NYC timeline, and maybe I'll end it with some predictions. I can't, this is the hardest show to have predictions for. It really is. I'm not giving you predictions. I don't got none. I don't have any. What am I gonna say? Every time I have a prediction, it's gone, then it's back, then it's gone. I feel bipolar. All right, so it starts off with Alex at the precinct on the NYC timeline, and she's pretty much getting her Miranda rights, and they pretty much take her to the vault. And what they figure out, and everyone's trying to figure out a way to question Alex, and Elias shows up. He comes back, and I called it. That was my prediction last week. Okay, actually, no, maybe I should make a prediction because that was my prediction last week. I don't know my prediction last week, but I predicted that he would come back. So I thought he'd be, I thought he'd come back and be a terrorist, but he came back. So that's half. That's 50%. So he comes back, and he's there for Alex. Like, apparently Alex calls him while she's arrested, and he comes to help her, and he's just like gun-ho. But unfortunately for him, Alex gets taken by, I have his name here, but he is a badass interrogator. He is the guy. He is the guy to interrogate him. And he's by order of the president. They take her away to interrogate her, and now this sets everything going fast forward. Caleb, Elias, they're all racing to find a solution. Caleb receives a phone call to go to the medical examiner to find out about the agent that he's been tracing, who took Alex's badge. So while there, of course, she's dead. He sees she's dead, and he sees that she's missing a phone. Everything else is there except the phone. So something's up. So they pretty much they pretty much figure out to Caleb and Elias go to see Simon and Shelby, and they all pretty much devise a plan to look at the cameras and find Alex before the initial bombing, to see what she was doing before. So they go to find where she is before the initial bombing, and they notice that they see her in a blind spot. Again, a blind spot. There's two cameras, and in the specific between both cameras, she disappears. And before she can make it to the second camera, she's gone. So pretty much someone kidnaps her in the blind spot. And for someone to have kidnapped her in the blind spot, they've had to be an FBI agent, and they've had to have been, like my man Simon, meticulous, crazy with detail, having a specific attention to detail, has to know exactly where everyone is at the right moment. So, and they figure out that this person is the person who kidnaps her. So they send out one of the twins on a mission to go investigate, while the other twin sticks around and plays both parts. Of course, Natalie sees this. Natalie asks them what's up. They bring her on fold, which is surprising because Natalie's such an asshole. But they bring Natalie on fold, and they pretty much start. They put two and two together, and now it's systematically bringing everyone who doubted Alex on the team. And then the very last person that they get on the team is Liam. So I thought this episode did a really good job of not only bouncing back and forth between NYC and Quantico, but they did a good job of, this is the first time I thought they did a really good job of showing how both sides really fit one another. You saw Simon being meticulous on one side. The terrorist is clearly meticulous on the other side. So there might be a correlation there. You saw Liam and Alex's relationship established on the Quantico timeline, and then with the way the NYC timeline ends up, it ends up with Liam being converted back to the cult of Alex and told that, listen, if all of your people believe it's her, you have to believe your team. So he finds the master interrogator who's interrogating, instead of interrogating Alex, decides to interrogate Ryan. Because he knows Alex is too tough. But she does care so much about Ryan that if, would be the primary way to make her tell him what he wants. And he doesn't even really want a real confession. This guy doesn't even want a confession. He just wants her to say you did it. He's literally telling her, you believe that you didn't do it, so I just need you to lie to me. He literally just says, just lie to me. Like, he will torture her to the point of just lying, just so we can keep it moving forward, which is scary if they're really doing that. I mean, it's a possibility. So Liam shows up right in the midst of torture, of the interrogation / torture, and saves them all. They end up saving Geffen. Geffen was his name. Geffen Wells. While Geffen Wells is doing his masterful job of torture, Liam saves them, gets Alex, and brings Alex into a room and, apologizes. It was very sudden for me because he's been so anti-her for so many episodes, and then just in one episode to get turned around. I think it could have been a 2-episode build, but I'm glad that we've gotten here because I'm kind of tired of no one being on her side. We know she didn't do it. Let's get the pace going. Let's get some fast pace. I want to know who did what, and I like the fact that they're trying to figure out the clues. Dead bodies are missing, the blind spots. I was really excited. It was really working for me. So then he tells Alex, he apologizes for her, but he tells her that, listen, you being on the run, if I let you go and you escape, we won't be able to find the bomb. They think they're going to be able to, the terrorists, their plan is to blow up the second bomb while you are still incarcerated. So for us to make them think that they're still in power, you have to be incarcerated still. So she pleads guilty. The episode ends with her pleading guilty. While at the same time, I guess, and her pleading guilty, while on the other timeline, Simon getting a blueprint of all the New York train stations. And that's pretty much it. I mean, did I go over? See, this is the bad part of being by yourself. I need the banter, you know? I need, because I need Quantico right there, not just completely disagreeing with me as she always does. And then me shutting down Nicholas with my facts. And then you guys tweeting me, telling me I'm wrong. Makes me feel good. Well, you can still tweet me and tell me I'm wrong. I don't have a specific prediction. My prediction, though, this is going to seem like a cop-out, but it's not a cop-out. I predict that the show is going to get better and more high-octane. And only because I feel like the first few episodes have been a slow build, and this episode was the most fast-paced I've ever seen. And I really like that. So I'm hoping that that's what it's going to lead to. I'm hoping it's going to be more high-octane, more thrilling, more suspense. This was my favorite episode, and man, I hope it's not Simon. But that would be a real good way for it to be Simon. For them to make you think it's Simon, then not think it's Simon, then make you think it's Simon again. That's a good one. It could be Simon. Oh, Simon, my guy. I was rooting for you. I still think. Actually, no, I don't know who it is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who the hell it is. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea who it is. I got none. All right. But if you guys, please tweet me. You know what? Tweet me your theories. Tweet me your theories, guys. I would really want to know. Okay. It would make me, just let me know what's going on. Okay. Also, so you can tweet me them at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL_Drew when you can. If you haven't had a chance, youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. Subscribe, rate, iTunes, SoundCloud. See y'all next week, guys. It was fun. Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.